tell me and the viewers, what's your brand? What's your business?
Cool. So it does have layers to it. I will say that. So it's not
like layers of bread or layers in lasagna, as layers in
all of them, all of the above.
Okay.
So my brick and mortar is A-List ATL. So
what's that?
So we have a salon suites.
Okay.
Which has fragrances in it. So we're one of the first Black-owned in Atlanta that is a fusion of the salon suite model, which a lot of people know, they're familiar with. Pretty much individuals who are stylists, barbers, makeup artists, nail techs, whatever. They have their own individual suite, not traditional to a regular barbershop or hair salon where you're on the floor and you got the open floor.
Yeah.
There you go.
You have a one-on-one. In other words, you have housing for up-and-coming entrepreneurs who started their own business and I don't want to say can't afford, but have a small-scale business where it don't need all the space and the kangaroos and things that I have hanging bells and whistles. Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
That's great for you to add that because you're providing something to a lot of entrepreneurs that it makes it affordable for them to execute on their dream.
For sure.
And that's a great thing and that's admirable. Yeah. And I mean, that's good.
Wow. Thank you.
And how many people do you have, business owners do you have in the business?
I currently have 6.
Okay.
So this is going into year 2. And my timeline was kind of weird because my grand opening was February 29th of 2020.
Okay. All right, before the pandemic.
2.5 weeks later, on March 21st, we had to shut down. So after a year of construction, me investing my everything into it, we had to shut down for 2.5 months.
I want to give you a hug.
It's okay. We're going to air hug it out. But yeah, it was difficult, man. And like you said, just like you not really being able to, you can't predict the pandemic.
You can't.
It doesn't matter what blueprint you put together when they say write out a business plan. That's not ever something that's
ironically enough. I just said this at a couple prior to this recording. I stated that you can't prepare in your business plan, and I stated that, and that's something that people have to understand that a business plan to me is just good enough for you to get a loan. But I don't think that that's a Bible you need to live by when you go every day to work. Yes. You have to throw that business plan out the window. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Get your loan, get your money, and come the business plan is like, I tell people, like a college degree. A college degree doesn't make you the smartest. It just shows you're capable of learning. Yeah, you go. That's it. It doesn't make you the greatest at your job. It's just because even if you go to med school for 8 years, you still have to do residency.
Correct.
You know why? Because that's on-the-job training.
Absolutely.
So to me, a business plan is not even half of what you really do in the business. And people look at it and think that they can read something and say, okay, well, hey, you're going to be a successful. No. At all. At all. Yeah. And people tell me, and I love to see, and I'm not going to lie, I love to see the people when they're on social media and they're down my timeline, or I got my
business, my LLC,
and it's like, oh.
It's like you have a receipt. That's it, literally.
No, baby, you just have a piece of paper. I don't even think it's a receipt. I think it's just a piece of paper. Yes. And I think you just something that you just clarified, you just solidified this little name. It's like, to me, a little birth certificate.
That's it.
Now it's time to raise your child.
There you go.
And having your business is a lot of work, and you have to put forward, you have to be selfless. Yeah. So you can't be selfish and own a business.
Correct.
And so I am, backtrack to, prior of you introducing yourself, how did that make you feel when the pandemic hit? And it was like, you got to close your doors, and you didn't put all this money into plumbing, walls, materials, furniture, and marketing, and trying to get this up, and then you hype.
So, all right, even before that, and I'll definitely get back to it, but before that, I had so many issues with contractors, so many issues with the state, with the city, permits, licensing.
Tell me about it.
So, and mine was a shell. I had a shell. So mine was completely empty. I started from scratch.
Oh.
So mine was literally a blank canvas. I came up with a blueprint, made it do what it do, created something amazing, which originally was called the Exclusive Experience. So we were a full men's grooming spa. So I had manicure, pedicure, facials, massage, everything catered to men. That was my original plan. And I had to pivot after being shut down because people weren't comfortable coming back out. So it's like, I got to figure something out that's going to allow me to, once we get back open, generate money, but also I built a brand. People know about me, but is that good enough? It's not going to pay the bills just because people know about you.
It's not.
And I had to be real with myself. Like, okay, we got to adjust the model. So, like you said,
that came to you, and like you said, with the business plan, like that came to you that you had to get in and jump in, and it's like, hey, this is where I started, but this is not where I'm going to finish.
You got to pivot.
And you did what you had to do, and that's a good thing, because a lot of business people, when they start a business and they tell people like, okay, this is what I started, you may want to start out that way, but you need to open your eyes for other options.
Absolutely.
And you have to be welcoming. Like one of my friends, I was talking to them, and they were like, well, you have to have your dream set every day, like do your vision board and have this stuff set down. And I was like, I don't do vision boards.
Me neither.
And it was like, well, you have to have this stuff. I don't want to say it. They say like, I don't want to say it wrong. It was like, well, you need to dream. I don't want to say it was dreaming, but the vision board is to where as though this is how you want to run your business. And they say, did you do that for your business? And I said, no.
Yeah.
And they said, why? I said, because if other opportunities come, I'm going to stick to that board or stick to that route that I'm supposed to go and look and, close doors to other great opportunities.
Sure.
And that's not what I want to do.
Right.
I want to make sure that I'm open, because I'm a boss.
Yeah.
I have to pay my team members that come to work every day.
Absolutely.
I have to pay rent every month. So I don't have that luxury to drop the ball.
Right.
I don't have that luxury to sit on the beach all day long. I don't have that luxury to close mind to ideas that can potentially provide more employment for more and secure the employment paychecks for the employees that I do currently have. Agreed. So I find that admirable about you, that you sat down and said, hey, this is not going to work.
Right.
This is not going to cut it. And I'm looking at the numbers like, it's no way.
It's not making sense.
At all.
It's not making
2
sense.
+ 2 equals what?
Every time it equals 4, but if it's equaling like 1.5, yeah, we got to go back to the drawing board.
And you know what? And I'm glad you went back to the drawing board, because look at you now today.
Yeah.